All right, everyone, welcome to the finale podcast. I'm joined by Chris. We're here to talk about Manchester United versus Liverpool in the Premier League today. Chris, do you want to give a little introduction?
Yeah, hello. So my name's Chris Schaller. Marcus and I, we both are in a graduate program for a sports degree at Arizona State. When it comes to football, my favorite team is Olympiacos in Greece. But since they're not like the biggest of all teams, my favorite Big Five team is Barcelona because Messi's always been my favorite player. Um, and yeah, I love football, love international, I love club, and can't wait to break this game down.
Yeah, this game was interesting to say the least. I mean, it started off, with United on the front foot, but a big mistake, I'd say, by Casemiro really led to the downfall of everything. So, like, if you want to break down, like, where you saw this game sort of go out of hand for United.
I think, well, first things first, I would say the first disallowed goal by Trent. I thought that the pressure they were forcing was really good for
Yeah.
Liverpool. Uh, Man, you just looked like the if you looked at the lineups before today's game, you would see that obviously Man U's missing Mason Mount. I think that was really apparent today. And you look at Mano and Casemiro. Part of me was like, why isn't Ahmad playing? But
Hmm.
that's a question for another day. But yeah, I would say that first disallowed goal where just Liverpool just had a lot of momentum in transition. I thought they were great today. And once that happened, I thought maybe they'll switch. Maybe Ten Hag will switch a few things up. But they looked kind of lethargic today. They did have some chances. Looking at the stats, Man U had three shots on target. So Liverpool had three more shots. Man U had the possession. I just think when I was looking at it, Man U just wasn't aggressive enough. I thought Casemiro's turnover was pretty bad.
Hmm.
And yeah, Liverpool looked like the better team today. But I would say that first disallowed goal, you'd think Man U would probably turn it around and try and switch the formation up a little bit. But no, it's just Liverpool's a superior team today. And that was the first instance where I thought um, it was Liverpool's day today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it just shows you how lethal they are on the attack. Because all it took was just one misplaced pass, and then they're in basically. Like, we even saw last week the way they were able to build on that counterattack to Luis Diaz. Like, it just shows you that you can't make mistakes against this Liverpool side and expect to come away with the win. I think that's where United succeeded against Liverpool in the last season, especially.
Oh yeah,
But like this season was a lot like this game today was a lot more mistakes, and then they just played with their foot a little bit too much. But yeah, that first goal was a indicator because I was just like, okay, even though it was disallowed, I'm like, all right, this team doesn't play around. This is a little bit
no,
of a different feeling to this Liverpool team than in the past.
no,
So yeah.
yeah, that was the closest I would say to like that 7-0 game 2 years ago. Just the way that Lucho Diaz scored like two goals, I think in like 3 or 4 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, it just felt like they were teeing off all game. It was interesting seeing them start Jota instead of Nunez, which worked today.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just the pressure, man, you just wasn't able to kind of hold off that pressure. And
Mhm.
yeah, there's been obviously concerns in the midfield today, and uh, Casemiro's time I think is going to be short lived here for much longer. But yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was. It was it could have I'm gonna be honest here, it could have been worse the score.
No,
But
it could have easily.
yeah. There
I
was yeah, it
mean,
just
just tough like the way it happened because I really felt like if those errors didn't happen, United would
mm,
have had a chance in the game to at least build something because the way they started, I mean, they could have came away with something early on, but like when you let that sort of team just get a foothold in the game, they're gonna eventually like show their prowess, especially when their attack is their best asset. So I think yeah, this United just messed around a little bit too much there. Casemiro, I mean, I appreciate like he's trying to play those progressive passes
yeah,
and trying to make us build, a little bit more aggressively, but like at the same
he's
time
not
it
the same
just
anymore. Yeah.
yeah. And like we can't recover as quickly because he's not that same type of player, you know. So when you give the
No.
ball up, it's just like you can run by him like a cone almost. So I already knew like, all right, you probably have to take him off at halftime because he's made two mistakes at this point. Like can't just keep him out there. And we didn't even have depth in the midfield off the bench. Like we brought on
No.
a youth player like Toby Collier. Like That just
Yeah,
shows you how important Manuel Ugarte is going to play, like the role he's going to play. Like he needs to actually contribute when
yeah.
we're fully healthy. And I think the pressure is going to be on Ten Hag because 3 points from 3 games is not what I expected. I didn't expect us to
No,
be like
absolutely not.
undefeated, but like 3 points out of a possible
I would
nine,
say
like
a
I
win,
don't,
a
that's
loss,
not
and a draw.
acceptable.
Yeah. I would say they
Yeah,
should have either beaten or took some sort of point from Brighton.
for sure.
And yeah, the first game, I mean, yeah, Fulham. Yeah. So yeah, it was just yeah, just they just didn't look like they were really in it at all today. But definitely, if you go back to Liverpool's 3 goals, they all were off turnovers though. Like each one,
Yeah,
Casemiro had 2 of them. I forget who came off the third one, but
Manu.
yeah, Manu, yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, and go back to Manu. Dude, he's 19 years old and he's asked to captain this midfield. I mean, that's a big task. So
yeah.
I think, yeah, the Red Devils are looking for Ugarte definitely to come in and just take a load off his shoulder. Really,
100%. I like
yeah.
Mainu, but like he's just having to do a lot, and you
So
don't
much,
really
yeah,
need him to recover defensively either. Like we're trying to have him a little bit more forward, so we need that sort of bruiser that Casemiro was in his first season playing back, like Ugarte. So I think that's where Ugarte comes in, and his role is like a lot bigger. But
yeah,
Ten Hag was talking about how Ugarte wasn't really involved for PSG in the preseason. He really hasn't played too much outside of the Copa America. So he
yeah.
says it might take a few months for him to get back to full fitness, but I think United actually need him immediately after the
Oh
international
yeah,
break here. So it's just like a lot more pressure on guys when you don't want it to be, especially Xerxes. Like I don't think Xerxes would have started this game if it wasn't for the injuries. So, I mean, and he missed a couple of big chances today too. So, I mean, like ultimately, I just think like we just need it's a good time. We need a reset, hopefully get Luke Shaw back. Hopefully
yeah.
Hoyland progresses in his recovery time and like we can just reset, get a much needed win. But
Well,
yeah, man, it's
yeah.
tough.
You also have to factor in this. They started Delict. He's barely been here.
Yeah.
Mazarawi, the summer transfer.
Yeah, yeah.
You got I playing Ahmad, coming off the bench. Still have Erickson. Like it's like they haven't really had a lot of time to build chemistry either, is what I'm trying to get at.
100%. Yeah. No, I mean
Because yeah,
like
they had a great
continue.
transfer window, don't get me wrong, but at the
Yeah.
same time you have to have some sort of structure. I mean, the only returning defensive backs are that are starting are Martinez and Delo. So
Yeah. And
and
Delo's
then
out of
just
position.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I he's playing what the wing back now or something.
Yeah, he's playing on the left. He's just right there because of Luke Shaw's injury. And
Yeah,
Mazuari,
right.
he's more comfortable on the right, whereas
Hmm.
Dallo can at least play both a little bit more comfortably. So that's kind of what they're going with that. But I think
Yeah.
the chemistry with De Ligt and Mazuari is there because there are days with Ajax and Bayern, but like with the team in general, it's not exactly there. So
Yeah,
I
there's a
think that's
difference
what we
between
kind
two.
of saw.
Yeah, there's a difference between two players in the whole team. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think I don't. And going, I mean, that's covering the defensive side, but going to like their attack, I thought they weren't given a lot of chances. Really, I thought Rashford had a few good looks. Bruno, not the best of all days. Garnacho,
Mhm.
I didn't really see much of. Like they didn't have a lot of chance where I thought they were going to score a goal. Like I know
Yeah.
Licho had a chance in like the 80th minute or something, but outside of that, it just it wasn't there really today. To put it
Yeah.
bluntly.
It wasn't. I mean, Allison probably got tested once or twice in this whole
Yeah,
game. So it's just like you're
yeah.
not going to win in that
You're,
manner. I
you're
mean,
not going to win now. And if you're going against Liverpool, you have to play perfect defense also. Because I mean, Salah, obviously, Salah's had a lot of success against Man U. Um,
uh
yeah, and they just like their attack at him, Lucho. They have so much speed on the wings that you really just have to play really good defense. And
yeah.
it's not the easiest to score on them. I know Van Dijk's form; he's a little older, but he still gets the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a good team. To put it bluntly, even without Klopp, they're still probably top 3 team. I would say in the Prem, on paper.
Oh,
So
100%, 100%.
yeah,
Not even on paper, like in real life, I feel like
no,
they're a
yeah,
top three
exactly,
team
yeah,
this year. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just, man, like they're a tough team to beat when you play like that sort of game, especially the
oh
way
yeah,
United play. United are such a like a free-flowing, open sort of game that they enjoy. So when you do make mistakes, especially how United play and they try to give the midfield the ball a lot under pressure, like and you misplace those passes, it can be costly. So that's where I was just like, okay, those are the sort of mistakes really can't afford. So I was hoping United came into the game with a little bit more structure, not necessarily trying to go for a draw today, but like not necessarily at the same time opening up your midfield when you have the ball, like wanting to have a little bit more structure when you get pressed on that counter. So it is unfortunate, but I think a lot of self-inflicted errors really put
yeah,
United in the spot they
exactly,
are
yeah.
in.
It
Yeah.
was just slop. It was you can combine both these two. I think it was more so United lost than Liverpool won. Granted, Liverpool were the better team, but again, they were really just self-inflicted turnovers that could have really changed the game. And you look at the three games they played last year, Man U was much more sound defensively. Like they looked way better. Their counter was a lot better. Um, and also you have to factor in this. This is really early for a Man U Liverpool game. I mean, we're talking late August, early September. They usually play in November and March, so it's different. I guarantee the next matchup will be closer. I mean, it'll be tough at the Anfield, but
Hmm.
um, maybe can pull out a draw or something there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah, it's different. We'll see how uh Ugarte fits in. And yeah,
Yeah, man. And I don't want to keep making excuses for United because I also felt
no, no,
like
you're good. No, they
losing like last week's game against Brighton. I mean, that was also kind of self-inflicted when you have an unmarked man on the back post. It's just like
yeah,
at the end of the day, like you just have to blame the team and the preparation and be like, all right, this is just not
yeah,
good enough of a standard that you're setting right now. So I think you can't say it's too undeserved that they're having 3 points on the season right now. But I just think they got to look at it and really assess like the lineups they want to do going forward because
yeah,
they've brought on Delit the first two games, then they brought on Maguire today for Delit. They need to figure out what's the back line going to be, even when Lenny Yoro comes back, who I'm sure will play a role in this
yeah.
season as well. And then what they're going to do when Luke Shaw comes back, how is that going to affect Masraoui and Delo? Like they just need to set a back line and go with it. I don't want to keep seeing like these back line changes because that's just unnecessary at this point. I know we're trying to get Delit and other guys like more involved, but at the same time, like just like we need to just stop doing that. And then when Casemiro goes to the bench, although he's a seasoned pro, I'm sure that Ten Hag still wants to utilize him for his experience. I think if we find a combination that works in the midfield, I think we just also need to stick with that as well, and perhaps just give Casemiro European games or
Yeah.
domestic cup games because like we just need to put our best lineup out for the Prem, and everything else can go later
All right.
on. And then Xerxes, I mean, I think I can see Xerxes finding himself a little bit in the starting lineup, but I think eventually, like when Hoyland comes back, that's going to be Hoyland's spot. And then same thing,
Yeah.
Mason Mount. Mason Mount will have a role in this team as well. So it's just unfortunate with injuries right now, a little bit of
Oh
pressure
yeah.
placed on both. But I think one thing for sure has to be in the lineup is Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo
Oh,
has to be starting,
absolutely.
man. Like on
100%.
the right side, like he was our
I
player of the
was
month
stunned
for
he didn't play
August,
today.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was stunned he was dropped. Like when I saw that, I was like, he played. I thought he played really well the first two games.
scored last
And
week.
then yeah, last week, and yeah, yeah, that was I was quite surprised by that. I think Ten Hag overthought it a lot. I think he wanted to look for more defensive lineup today, but it didn't quite work.
Yeah,
Um,
man. And Garnacho didn't really have too good of a game today, but
no,
the same thing to consider with that is like he didn't really get too much chances on the
he
ball.
didn't. No, he got nothing. It was really just honestly from the attackers. I thought Rashford really had the most of the chances, but at the same time, when you're on the defense and when you're parking the bus for a good portion of the game, that's going to happen. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of chances, really.
Right.
They
Yeah.
did have some shots, but again, like you said, maybe one or two legit chances, and they didn't really challenge Alisson that much. So
Hmm. Yeah, man.
yeah,
It's a disappointing result to
yeah,
say the least because
definitely.
you never want to lose to Liverpool like that. I had a lot of
Oh, of course.
confidence going into this
Oh
game.
yeah,
Like I know we have been in the media a lot, just being talked about and stuff for having only 3 points in the way we lost last week, but I thought like okay. yes, this is Liverpool. Yes, they're on fire right now, but I just felt like this is a good matchup for us. But at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time, Liverpool have the power to really,
oh
like you
yeah.
said, put 7 goals on other teams, especially with the way United play. So yeah, when I saw those errors today, I was just like, I laughed. I was just like, okay, man. Like, first one was Casemiro just passed the ball right to Gravenberch and he just blitzed us. And then the
Great goal,
uh,
second one. Yeah.
second one was a great goal. And
Oh.
then Kobe Mainu, like he got pushed off the ball. Like he didn't really have a chance there.
That
Like
could
he
have
just
been a
got put
foul.
into a
Yeah, the
pressure
third one.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
could have
and
been a
then
foul.
the second one could have been a foul potentially, but they didn't really look at it too
Mhm.
much. Where
No, yeah,
Luis Diaz pushed off Casemiro, I thought it was clean too. So, but yeah, like those are the situations where United get the ball a lot in pressure situations, and if they get out
yeah,
of that, then they have a counterattack available. But when they don't get out of that, then you're in trouble. So I think just the way United play oftentimes through Andre Onana. Like they like to just play, through the goalkeeper, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's just the pros and cons of that sort of system that they're
right.
trying to employ.
And it's
But
funny
yeah,
because most of their success comes from the counter. Like if you had watched them last year,
100%.
obviously watched them last year.
Hmm.
They were even against Liverpool, the FA Cup semifinal. They were very successful in the counterattack. Liverpool, I
Yep,
thought outplayed them, but it was just a few really good counters that Man U had.
for
And
sure.
when they're able to really push the tempo after getting a stop, it's their bread and butter at that point. And again, you didn't really see much of that today. You could have based it
Hmm.
on it being the third game of the season, or just Liverpool were the better team, which I think both are true. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Which they're we have international break this week, and then after that
Yeah,
they got Southampton. So that could be
yeah.
a right to shift game, definitely.
Yeah, and
Um,
like even today, I feel like possession numbers. I don't know if United won the possession, but I think we had,
6% they
really
won
good
it. Yeah,
possession. They won it, yeah. So it felt like
it's
United
pretty
had
much
more
50-50.
possession. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the thing was Liverpool, the reason because of that, Liverpool just barely had the ball, and then when they did get the ball, it was on a counterattack and easy goals from there. So
Oh yeah.
it's just unfortunate in the way they lost this game because you really feel like they could have got more out of it if they didn't give the game to Liverpool literally. But yeah, I mean, tough situation. Like I kind of feel for Casemiro in those moments, but like I don't want us to keep
Yeah.
putting him in those situations because he was supposed to leave this summer for Saudi, and
Yeah.
like you said in the group chat earlier, like he needs to learn Arabic. Like I don't know. That's something that maybe should have happened already, but like
Yeah.
I think he's experienced, but it's kind of the same situation with what Liverpool had to go through with Fabinho, who is one of the best center defensive
Oh yeah.
mids in the
And
world.
then
But it
yeah,
came to a point where you just have to let him go and then move
let him
on, and
go.
then they brought in
Yep.
some guys to replace him. I mean, as good of a player as he is, like it just time, is it's always going to come to a player. We always see it.
Yeah.
And we bought him for one good season, and so far that just seems like all we're going to get. So I can
Yeah.
accept that, but I think for this season he just has to be a squad player that gives us experience. But I don't think he can stay beyond the season. I think he has either
He's just worn
this
out.
year or another
Yeah.
year left.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure,
he's worn
man.
out, honestly. Yeah, at that
So
point.
many
And then
games. Yeah.
but on the contrary, you look at their bench, I mean, they didn't really have much depth either today. I mean, you had what I think Erickson was subbed in at one point.
Erickson was
Um,
subbed in at the end. Collier was the
yeah.
sub that they
And
made
that's
for
another guy.
Casemiro.
Yeah, and Erickson's another guy who you don't know how much he has left in the tank either.
Yeah,
So
older player. It's just a thing
yeah,
United were doing initially was just bring in, experience and depth, which was cool at first, but like I think this summer United has really prioritized bringing in younger talent. I think the oldest player they brought in was
yeah.
probably Mazraoui or Delit,
Delict,
but
yeah, one
like
of those two.
yes. So I mean, I think it's good for the future that they're recognizing that they don't want to make those sort of buys, but yeah, as far as their reliance right now, you really can't rely on Ericsson to do too much, especially in that midfield. We seem to have Bruno and Manu pretty much locked up in those spots. So it's that CDM role that Ugarte really has to command and really
Yeah,
not be a liability because I mean his experience at PSG wasn't all that great, but we've seen what type of player he can become with Sporting and then this past summer in the Copa America with
oh for
Uruguay.
sure.
So
Yeah,
hopefully he
and
brings that to us, man.
and CDM's a position, he's been looking at all transfer, weren't able to get. I thought at one point he'd take Frankie from us, and that didn't happen.
100%,
So
yeah.
yeah, they've been looking for a CDM for a while now because again, like you said, Casemiro's 32, he can't play anymore, and yeah, yeah, that's the one pressing need I would say they need right now. They did a good job in the transfer window, obviously getting defense. But yeah, that CDM spot is has been a revolving door for a bit.
Yeah, and then I would also say like maybe a striker would be good, just for
Yeah.
another reliable guy you can look to when we're in this situation where we're missing Hoyland and Mount,
Yeah.
who is playing up top. And
Mhm.
also like maybe some competition for Onana, who isn't really under much competition from Bayındır right now, the Turkish goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I feel like that helped Arsenal's situation when they brought some competition for
Oh, for
Ramsdale.
sure.
Now Ramsdale's back
Took
at
him over.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like I think that actually can help, even though Onana is Ten Hag's guy. Like you could always do well with
Yeah.
some competition. I'm sure
Oh,
United
for
could
sure.
afford it.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's not. Yeah. He hasn't really played up to what obviously they paid for him to be. Um.
Yeah,
So yeah, you can definitely get something else going back there. Yeah. The Bayern is still. I mean, I thought there were times last year that they should have kind of gave him a chance, but
100%. They never
yeah.
played him even in the cup games.
No, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, I think the Glazers are probably looking at. I mean, the Glazers have a pull on it. Maybe deep down, Ten Hag wouldn't mind playing him, but uh, you paid a lot of money for a keeper, so
Mhm.
you're gonna play him. You don't want to be proven wrong, obviously.
100%.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think just some competition, some healthy competition would be good,
agreed.
especially if we could see a backup goalkeeper playing in the cup games. Like when United used to have like De Gea and Romero. I remember at one point we had Victor Valdez, former
Yeah,
Barcelona keeper. Like we had healthy competition. Nobody was going to take De Gea's spot because he's the best goalkeeper in the world. But we saw like Romero, and I'm like, okay, Romero could probably start for a Premier League team with how he's
yeah, he could
playing
play a few games. Yeah,
in the Europa League. Like he was one of the main reasons why we won the Europa League in 2017. So I think honestly, just some healthy competition there, like just improving the squad depth. Like we see that's how every team sort of operates now. We see Liverpool have squad depth, Arsenal have squad depth, City obviously have squad depth. You can't just win with a really solid starting 11 because like you mentioned earlier with our bench today, like I just knew if we had to look to our bench,
so
it wasn't going
tight.
to be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of depth at
So
all, really.
our backup striker was like Ethan Wheatley, and we only have one striker now. So that's a situation you don't want to be in. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
and yeah, it's just unfortunate, but definitely credit Liverpool for how they
Oh,
performed today. I
yeah,
mean, they're looking really good this season. I think they're definitely going to be City's number one competitor, just with how they look right now under
yeah.
Arne Slot. And I mean, don't count out Arsenal either, but
No, of
like
course not. No.
I could see Liverpool just being that second team this year. But we know
Yeah, and
City's
that
always going to be up there.
yeah, and that fourth spot's really an open door. I mean, before the season, I thought Tottenham could have possibly snuck in. They've gotten off
Yeah.
to a really rocky start as well.
Chelsea,
Villa maybe isn't a fluke.
Villa, yeah,
Newcastle, so yeah, it's
Newcastle,
yeah. I would say right now, I mean,
Brighton.
even Man U could eventually get something going, but
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
early.
super. It's very early still. Yeah, we have a long season ahead of us. I would say odds are though that City probably do five-peat, but
Yeah.
it's yeah, they're just yeah, it's ridiculous.
Haaland has like 7 goals in
Oh my
that
God, he's gonna break his
in
own
three
record. I
games.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh
he'll
yeah, for
break
sure.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
easily.
He's different. He's getting better too, which is scary. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's yeah, it's yeah, that's a absolute machine there. But yeah, just yeah, today just wasn't the last two games. I would say last week they definitely played better than today. Obviously, they
Yeah.
played a more inferior team, Brighton, who Brighton's actually had a pretty good start so far. I'll give them that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They
But
have
yeah, they're not
7 points
Liverpool.
from 3 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not Liverpool. So
They're not Liverpool,
uh,
man.
and Man U were the better team last week too. Like just straight off, they should have won. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, whereas today it just wasn't. That was not the case. No.
Yeah. Disappointing though. But I mean I don't watch too much La Liga, but I saw Barcelona won 7-0. I mean they're
7.
looking
Yeah,
really good under Hansi Flick. Like what are
they're
your thoughts on
looking.
how they're looking right now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're looking. I would say more organized. I think it helps. Obviously, having Danny Olmo, probably one of the top players from the Euros this past year,
Mhm.
and for the most part, knock on wood, they've been able to stay somewhat healthy. Their main guys, with Pedri avoided could have been a massive injury. Mark Bernal is awful what happened. He was looking like probably the best CDM they've had since Busquets. And Flick's having Lewa play just a more freer role, I would say this year. Last year, I love Xavi, but he just wasn't really the best tactician. I would say he didn't get the best out of Lewandowski. There were several times last year where I thought he would go to Saudi. at a certain point. But yeah, Flick's really starting to the guys are really starting to play for him. They're really starting to understand, what he does. And yeah, the finances are an issue. They still have to register a lot of guys. There'll be a lot of positions, especially on defense, that are a revolving door this year. But yeah, no, I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far. It'll be. I expect Madrid to kind of turn around eventually. I think they
Mhm.
won this or are winning this afternoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to Barcelona this year than I was last year for sure. Last year really just had the Champions League, and outside of that, league play wasn't really there. So yeah, I'm really impressed. We'll see where they go from here.
Yeah, definitely impressive, man. Like, are you guys in the Champions League?
Yeah,
Okay. How do you think
yeah.
you guys will
They
do
they
there?
they finished second. They got a tough draw. I'm not gonna lie. They got Bayern. I believe they got PSG again. So I'm still getting used to the new format a little
Yeah.
bit, but I look with Hansi. I think they can make some noise. Definitely, they can definitely make some noise. Last year, if it wasn't for Rajo's red, they would probably have made the semis.
Right.
So yeah, I think that yeah, it's looking good if they can get some guys back. They get Frankie back soon. That'd be great. Araujo's December, which they still need to register him. That's another thing. Um, but yeah, things are looking more up than last year for sure. I think the Champions League will be interesting. It'll be difficult, obviously, with because I think in the new format, the top teams are playing each other pretty much. It's
Hmm.
like it's 1 through 28, I think. And it's like the top 8 teams advance, and then it's the playoff round. I think 9 through 16. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think it's very Super League like they're promoting the top teams will be playing each other. I mean, that's essentially what you're getting in the group stage. You have that. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
they could make a deep run. I think in the Champions League, but I think there is a talent disparity from between obviously them, Madrid. I think they're more likely to win the league. I would say this year, win La
Mm.
Liga than they are Champions League, which is the usual. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it as well for Champions League reasons because like I don't have to look at United this year, so I can just watch all these teams perform and like
Right. Yeah.
I liked how Barcelona actually did last year in the Champions
They did
League.
good.
Like
Yeah.
they were really good. So they
Yeah.
honestly they could have gone farther,
They
but
they should they should have made the semis. Like
yeah.
it's just that red was that ended them. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
unfortunate,
Brutal.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see what happens this year. But
For
yeah, that was
sure.
everything we had for this episode. Just
Yep.
little recap of United's game. But yeah, hopefully we do these again. Hopefully we get Steven, our other classmate, on here. Big
Probably
Liverpool
for the best
fan.
he wasn't on here today, but
Yeah,
he's
he
a
probably would
scouser.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably would have brought it, a little bit harder today than you did. But
Yeah.
it's all good though. But hopefully United can bounce back from this one, and look a lot better. But yeah, good episode today, episode 91 in the books. Chris, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for
Hopefully we
having
have
me.
you on again, man. We're gonna do NFL podcast soon as well. So if you want to be interested in doing that, I know you're a big Eagles fan, so
Yeah.
like we can make it happen for sure. And there's other guys in the cohort as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Appreciate you
Can't wait.
having you on again. And yeah, we'll see everyone next time. Peace.
Everyone.